Hi everyone. This is I'm posting this because I really need help right now. I need prayers. Um, my little 9-month-old grandson is very sick in the hospital in France. He, for those of you who don't know, haven't followed my whole story, my son and his family moved to France just 6 weeks ago, actually, for her job and my daughter-in-law's job, and they're just getting settled, and the baby, first Ryan got sick, which is he just turned 3 a couple of days ago, and then and with some kind of a viral or illness of some kind, and then the baby got sick, and they just it just seemed like a regular cold, and but he first developed a rash, and he had a fever wouldn't go away, and he's been immunized and stuff against measles and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so they called emergency service over there. They haven't even had time to get a physician or anything yet, but they have services that make house calls. So about 4 nights ago, the doctor came. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, but came, and because his temperature was 104, but and the doctor, and he just had a rash on his face, and so the doctor thought it was impetigo. He thought he got a secondary infection, maybe from the the discharge from the snotty nose and stuff like that, and so they put him on an antibiotic, and which is reasonable, but the next day he was worse, and even though he'd had two doses of the antibiotic, and the rash was spreading, so and of course, I'm thinking all kinds of stuff because my specialty was infectious disease. I took care of AIDS patients, so I try to always, you can't, every time something happens, you can't go to the worst scenario. We have a saying in medicine that if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck and smells like a duck, it's probably a duck. It's probably not a chicken. So but what's happening with him is he's not walking anyway, he's not nothing fits. So they took him back to the hospital, and the hospital said that it was scarlet fever, and which is also caused by the bacteria strep bacteria, and it could have still come from him, he could have had strep throat, and he a small percentage of people with strep throat will develop scarlet fever, and it's also treated with the same antibiotic. So they thought, okay, well, he's on his way to recovery. So then he then yesterday he still wasn't better now, and he'd been on the antibiotic now for 36 hours, and usually now the rash would not go away immediately, but the fever and stuff would, if it's a bacterial infection, if you've got the appropriate antibiotic. But anyway, to make a long story short, it got worrisome again because the rash was spreading. So they called the emergency service again. They didn't go to the hospital this time. They called the same service that the doctor came the first time, and it was one of his colleagues, a different partner, whoever takes the call that night. And he came and he said, "Oh no," he says, "it's not." And he had also developed explosive diarrhea, which could be secondary to the antibiotic it was on, and so he thought it was parvovirus B19, which is it's also named, it's called fifth disease because it was it's a virus. It's a fifth, and that was discovered in childhood rash kind of diseases by somebody, and so they named it the fifth disease, or it's also known as I think erythema contagiosa, something like that. I'm not sure, but and it has a slap cheek. It's also called slap cheek syndrome. But anyway, he said, so stop the antibiotic. So and so this morning, so they did, and this morning he seemed a tiny bit better. I mean, he at least he wasn't having explosive diarrhea and stuff, but then they called me tonight, and they showed him to me, and I mean, he had massively changed. I mean, his whole body was covered with the rash, but it also was purple, and that's a really, really bad sign. That's not that could be a vascular thing. And so I said, you get to the hospital and you go right now. I said, don't wait for a doctor to get there, to come. And so she got him to the hospital, and she said he was admitted immediately, and 4 nurses ran over, and they're working on him now. They're doing tests and stuff on him. But I mean, it could be very, very serious. It could be something that, I mean, it could be Steven Johnson syndrome, which is a necrotizing skin and mucosal disease caused by a reaction sometimes a reaction to medication or a drug. Or it could be a toxic, epidermal necrolysis, which is where the skin just sloughs off. But so I'm beside myself in worry. I obviously haven't shared all the details. I told my daughter-in-law. I said, if you need somebody to really, if they seem to be like, like thinking you're overreacting or something, I said, tell them your mother-in-law was in infectious disease for 30 years, and that it could be she thinks it could be these syndromes. And I said, but it was so obvious that when she walked in, they immediately, she said they just came running, and they immediately put him in a bed and admitted him. And so I've told him enough. I mean, but I did tell them. I said, please don't look up any pictures of it or anything like that, because I said this still could be fifth disease, but it's just not running a typical course. I mean, but there's always the people that get things worse, worse than the norm, and the people who experience things lighter than the norm. But this should not be. And he's sloughing his skin. It's like he's been burned. So his skin is all peeling around his face and stuff, and that doesn't come with the fifth disease. It can happen with scarlet fever, and it can happen with hand, foot, and mouth disease. But he needs intervention. He needs some tests, and they need to find out what's going on. And so I'm just asking all of you to, within whatever your belief system is. I mean, I pray, I chant, I cover all my bases. I send positive energy, and I told my daughter-in-law, I said, if it wasn't so damn cold here, I'd be out running around naked, beating my drums, yelling "Hello, sunshine" or something, because I just want to send, all the positive energy that I can over there. And oh gosh, it's. So I love you guys, and I'm actually was in the process, not today obviously, but a few days ago before this started, in the process of like making it like an intro to my channel, that was kind of up, up and gay and stuff. But life happens, life happens, and I just feel, as crazy as it sounds, you think I don't know you, but the thing is that I feel I do. Like, I just feel this energy. And so the thing is that so life happens, and I feel grateful that I have somebody to talk to, because I can't really, you know, everybody that knows them, you know, them included, and like her mother and her father and stuff, they're all worried too. So I mean, I can't really talk to them, but I thought I could ask, you know, I could depend on all of you to, you know, send some positive vibes and stuff. I would really appreciate it, and I will keep you all updated right now, because so you don't know what the time it is. It's I'm not even going to edit this. I'm just going to put it up because the prayers are important to me, and right now it is it's Saturday, and is it the 19th? But it's Saturday, February, I think around the 19th. I don't know, but I can't. I don't want to touch the video while but anyway, it's Saturday, and it's I think the 19th. But so whatever that Saturday is, so that you have an idea that, you know, that, and if you watch it like 5 or 6 days from now, it's not. Hopefully, it's not going to be the crisis that it is now. And I don't want anybody, you know, to. I don't want to have people worry, but I would love it if you would pray, and you could send some loving energy towards them. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being there for me. Bye bye.